Today's a chat about choosing the right difficulty for your next project, and we're actually working on a quarter circle skirt. But you can choose an easy way that's done maybe within 2 hours, or a more difficult way that's going to take you weeks and weeks. So, how do you make those decisions? And it's not just about the pattern or the print or the material, it's also about you. How are you feeling? Are you up for a challenge? Or do you need something satisfying and quick? Let's start with an easy breakdown, easy to hard. Not necessarily what's shown, but these are the guidelines. So your easiest one is short, everything stretchy waistband and quarter skirt, and don't have a print. Print adds difficulty. Next, you go keep it short. Don't choose transparency. Don't have a print. And a soft jersey waistband is easier than a faux shirt or shirred waistband. Now, I should say in this section that every picture you're seeing is of a quarter circle skirt. They're just cut a little differently because of the waistlines. The waistlines might be different lengths. Okay, so the next in the order of difficulty, you can make it longer, that's harder, but choose a stable fabric. Don't choose a transparent fabric, otherwise you'll have to add layers, and that's harder. Then we've got the skirt that I'm working on. This is more the harder one. It's long. Long adds difficulty. And don't choose a print if you don't want too hard. Similarly, a soft jersey waistband is going to be easier than a shirt or faux shirt waistband simply because of the length in the waistbands and the waistlines. Then don't choose a slippery, silky, non-stable fabric if you want it to be easier and not transparent, or you'll be doing layers. Let's take a closer look, especially at the sewing involved. So this is a soft jersey waistband. You can catch that tutorial in the top right. And it's a quarter circle skirt. It's cut from the same material. There is no hem. I haven't hemmed it because jersey materials do not fray. So that's a nice time saver. The only seam lines you've got is going to be your soft jersey waistband and where it joins to the skirt. And now there's a black bit there. I just ran out of material, so that's why that bit got put in a different colour. Still the same stretchy material. So you've got this join line all the way around, and I cut this in two pieces, so 2 side seams. And that's all you've got. Easy as pie, especially if you don't have a print to worry about, because prints can involve up, down, and some other things, but definitely up and down. Let's look at the next one. Now, it's a faux shirred waistband, so the waistline is going to be much longer. Also, that material, I should have showed you on the other one actually, is so stretchy, my first one. And that's why it looks less full, because I've cut it down to the waist band because it's going to stretch. But when we have a faux shirred waistband, it's going to increase the circumference of the waistline join. Now you can see how beautiful and soft and flowy that material is. It's not transparent, so that's a good thing. It does have a print, so that was, a little more difficult, but it's non-stretch. Now let's have a look at the sewing. Well, let's have a look at the print actually. There is an up and down, so I had to be careful with that. You can see that this little bird, if you cut it on the other way, it's going to have its beak up or it's going to have its beak down. So you have to be careful how you place your pattern on your material. That's an example of up and down in a print. Okay, in terms of sewing, I've got the join line. That's easy, one layer, because there was no transparency. I've got one side seam, one seam, because I could cut this all in one piece. And I do have a hem. And of course, all the work in the waistband. Moving on to the dress that I have. Now, it's still a quarter circle skirt. It's just attached to a little bodice instead of a waistband. So still a quarter circle skirt. It does look quite full though, because I've added gathering into the waistline as well. So you can imagine that waistline was actually really long, and I've gathered it in to join the bodice. Now, it is a stable fabric, but it is also transparent. So it's got 2 layers. If we have a look at that, that is seamless because I've joined it in a way that has sandwiched the 2 seam allowances together. So I've actually sewn it in 2 steps or 3 steps. So here you can see that sandwiched in seam line and 2 layers. So 2 layers mean 2 lots of cutting and a couple of loads of sewing and 2 lots of hemming. Now this skirt also deserves a mention. It is a silk. It is transparent, slippery, silky, beautiful, and difficult to work with. So I do need a layer. Now it's not a quarter circle skirt, so we're just going to talk about the other factors. It's got a soft jersey waistband. It's got this outer layer, which has got a very long waistline, and it's got this inner slip, which is not cut in a circle. It's quite close to my body and it's stretchy. So we've got different tensions all going into one single joining line around there. And that's what creates difficulty because you're really controlling tension as you sew. Don't recommend it on the sewing machine. I've done it on the overlocker and it was still quite difficult to get all those tensions into one lot of sewing. All right, let's talk about a little bit more about what you feel like and what you need. Okay, because it's not just what you feel like. Sometimes it's about the wardrobe practicalities and what your life is and therefore what you need. And I have the lifestyle of just needing to go to medical appointments. I have a propensity to collapse in public because of my medical conditions. So a short, not very flowy skirt wasn't zero on the cards for me. I also had polyester in my stash that I wanted to use up, so that's totally not suitable for my summer. I'm in winter, so I thought I'll use that up. I'll make it flowy and long so it's modest and so I can actually sit comfortably in a doctor's office or in the hospital. If I collapse, it's going to modestly drape over me, it's fine. I'm also going to line it with some wool. So we are not yet finished or even started with the skirt project. So join me next time. We are going to be cutting it out. We're going to go into the sewing process. And while my decisions are not the easiest, sometimes the practicalities and our wardrobe needs make us choose sort of those garments and make those decisions. Enjoy your comfy life. I hope this really helps you, give you some guidelines about if you want to make it easier, do these things. You don't have to make it super hard. Even if you've got a practical need, it doesn't have to be as hard as, what I've got. It was just what was in my stash and I was using it up. So enjoy your comfy life. Join me next time. I can't wait to see you.